Hey everybody, it's your boy Jake, aka Korean Jew Trading, and I'm back with another update video. We're going to be talking about BTC as well as altcoins, seeing some things that do remind me of 2017, and of course, your boy is back on YouTube. I mean, take that as a notice. Um, this is not financial advice, and I'd like to give a big shout out to my sponsors, Dudex. It's a great platform where you can trade BTC margin. If you want to sign up and support me, you can use my link at dudex.com/Korean Jew. All right. So in the last video that I did, I believe it was a few days back, we talked about BTC. It was in this range right here, and was looking at 7180 between 7150 and 7120. 7180 was actually the number, but as an area for BTC to visit. So we're going to kind of recap that. If you look here, you have an ascending wedge. It's basically ends up with a wider range, kind of condensing and contracting. We saw, I was either looking at this area, this trend line resistance to play a part. Didn't even make it there. And then, interesting enough, on the way down, so we break below this line and comes up, retests it here at 74.75 approximately, and is rejected again. And now we eventually made it down. If you're a patient, it went all the way to about 71.55. So 71.80 would have been a great place to kind of get in if you want to play this action. And right after, you got a decent bounce. So if you played 71.80 to 7400, that's 250 points. If you're trading that with leverage, that's a great trade. You can close right there, or you can protect that position. The reason why I was targeting that area more specifically was I was starting to see some weakness up here. Was expecting a rejection. A lot of people were looking like 8100, 8300. The way I was seeing this was if we actually get over 8K, 8100, I don't think it was going to stop. So target area was around 7980, didn't make it there. This wave failed. As soon as this bottom here gets taken out, that's really where we were talking about in the dojo of having stops. So up here on the initial pump up, this wicked out around 76, 75. And then in this wave, you have, let me zoom in a bit. You have the low is set at 76.80. So this area, you have one, two, three, four touches on the way up. It's clear resistance, gets past it. We break into this zone, but no follow through. And the lowest wick is here. So you could put your stop slightly below, like maybe like 7,600, but anything below 7,600 look bearish. So that's kind of like what we were discussing, and of course that breaks and it brings us all the way down to 7150. So now looking at where we are now, and the reason why 7180 was the area I was targeting, that was first off, based off VPVR, this whole zone is where most of the buying was happening. Most of the action was happening between 7180 and 7300 in that range. So that kind of puts you in the target area for accumulation on in this area. But based off of this rejection right here, so we started to move down, it was making a bull flag, rejected here, then significant dump to 6,800. We don't take out the low, and that's where you get the bounce. Now look on this bounce up. Pumps up to the same resistance and then retraces a couple hours later. Look where it stops, right here. Same level. So that's why I was targeting this area in a nutshell. And you see you got the wick that you wanted. Now, as far as where we stand currently, I'm liking that we're actually shock waving right here above this level. So we didn't, if we revisit this, it wouldn't bode too well. I think a break of this territory. So if you go below 7150, I would be looking for the last line would be around 6980. So like 7K is a psychological number. They may try to run that because a lot of stops will be over there. And they, you see like when you're picking your positions, especially in March. And now keep in mind, if you're a spot BTC, it's a little bit of a different situation. You're not taking as much risk because you're not, borrowing to multiply your position. So you may want to look at it a little bit differently. But if we were, we can take a wick down here, um, make a run at 7K, and you kind of end up around 69.80. Anything below there is bearish territory, in my opinion. So that's why it's like kind of good sometimes to strategize that way. If you find that you're constantly being stopped out and then the position goes in your direction, you may want to modify your approach and kind of view it differently, because what you're doing most likely is what the majority of the participants are doing. And you don't want to be on the same side as everybody, because that's where the people of big money are looking to get you. So, that's how every market works. So you really need to kind of take a different perspective and think about things. Why does this keep happening to me? And it's because your ideas are not are common. So you're going to put yourself in a bad spot that way. So the way I'm looking at it is like if somebody longed here or somewhere in this wave, they wouldn't want to see it, down there. That would be like 69.80 would be a spot where most of these people stops would get taken out. A lot of liquidations would hit. And if you're entering where everybody else is getting destroyed, that puts yourself in a pretty good situation. And you can make a very low risk play on that. So let's say you long 69.80. It doesn't have to hit. I'm not saying it's going to happen. But if you long there, you can have a stop, like 69.40 or wherever you want to. You manage your own risk. I'm not going to tell you how to do it. Based off of how much leverage you're using percentage-wise, you have more room. But the way I'm seeing it is like if it gets there and on a wick you can get some volatility, you give it a little bit of room, but not too much. And if it keeps going, then it's like, hey, I was wrong. This is bearish, and I'll think about what to do next. I might even short there. But 69.80, it gives you a base where if you're wrong, you're going to be wrong right away, and you're not going to lose much. And if you're right, now you're in the driver's seat and you can manage that position. So that's just my thoughts on current BTC action. We're looking obviously, for this. How do I do that? Okay, well. Oh man. Why won't these delete? There we go. All right, I'm gonna take that off. Here we go. Okay, so we'll zoom out a bit because I was looking at the hourly. Check out 8 hours. This trend line has been very key the whole way. So was resistance on the way down, and this became support. Support broke. That's where you get the big dump. Now we can assume that this is going to be resistance once again. So, another way you could play this is wait for BTC to prove itself. If we can get above this line and, then retest it and then kind of gain support above it and this becomes support again, that's where you're kind of looking to play, really. Unless, like right now, this is almost, it's pretty uncertain. You don't have to trade this. And, a lot of people... this will bring me to the second part of the video, is altcoins have been fantastic. And nobody's saying it. It's almost like a meme. People keep talking about how alts, everybody loses their money. But, and I was having some discussion on Twitter about this. But, if you look at what alts have done this year, if you lost money, you see something went terribly wrong. So we... obviously peaked out in June. So I'll bring up Ethereum just to kind of give a sense. But even though Ethereum hasn't performed too well, let's look at FUSD. All right. So compared to, we'll do the daily. So back in December when the whole market bottomed, ETH was at $85, $70, $80, something like that. I mean, it went all the way to $360. So if you bought into ETH at $100 and it went 350% in 6 months, and you didn't sell any or you didn't take profit, anything like that, then you really need to look yourself in the eye and say, like, what was I thinking? As it started to pull down, you still didn't take profit. You just hodled the whole thing, or did you not buy when this was in clear accumulation? I don't know what people did there, but I mean, F is one example. Obviously now it's kind of on its way back down. It, I'm not certain it'll go all the way there, but if you look at Ethereum, you could look at any of them really. It's very rare. Another part is when people compare the altcoin market cap, everybody is still looking at just versus BTC, and I understand that because if you're trading alts and they're losing versus BTC, you're better off being in BTC. That makes perfect sense. But the notion that people didn't make money with maybe you made less money doesn't make tremendous sense to me. Um, like looking at Tron in December was 280 sats. It made it, all the way up to 850. Obviously, this is a horrible, horrible downtrend, and if you hodl this, you're going to get destroyed. So you need to use stops. Um, let's pull up some other. We could pull up anyone. I forgot that this isn't a live stream because usually people will just say like, look at our old friend ICX versus USD. Even ICX, which hasn't performed well. We're talking bottoms out at 17 cents. Holy shit, amazing. Um, peaks out 46 cents. It was up there over 40 cents. So you're talking 2-3x easy right there. And this is one of the worst performers. I mean, we don't even need to pull up Chainlink or BNB. I mean, all of these coins perform. So looking at where they are now, many of them have given back. And if I'm just picking between like random coins, we're going to see different things. So if we look at Chainlink, you got Chainlink started early. I mean, this has been really a top performer. But from a USD perspective, it's oh wait, you need to look at Binance. Let's see, Binance, US dollar. Okay, yeah. Chainlink went absolutely berserk this year. So we're talking 20 cents to nearly $5. That's wild. Exceptional performance. Shout out to the Link Marines. If you guys were in on this, like, fantastic. Good for you. Right now, from USD perspective, it doesn't look phenomenal. But, you never know. If it can get back above 350, I'm a buyer there. But anyway, what I wanted to really talk about was what my expectations are going forward for altcoins. Is it just over? Is everything a scam? Because that's the common thought at this point. The same people that were waiting for them to bounce and holding the whole way down. I did for a little while too, and then I eventually said, you know what, this is enough last summer, and kind of got out of all of them, then started to re-enter them towards the end of the year and this year in spurts. But let's face it, altcoins have the potential to absolutely go ballistic in short periods of time. And that's what draws people in. But I think you need to be selective about it. And when I compare this year, 2019, which is almost over, 2020, to how like 2017 was when I first got in, if I have to compare and think, like, where are we? It's not going to be the same thing, but history sometimes repeats, and it doesn't. What's the saying by Mark Twain? History doesn't often repeat, but history. It's something about rhyming. Oh man, I totally forgot it. But history often rhymes. It's not going to be exactly the same, but it'll resemble something you're familiar with slight variation. And thinking about altcoins. We're starting to see it already. DAG, which is Constellation, has done well over 10x at this point. That was something that we were into early in the year. It looked like just completely undervalued. So the way we find these projects like DAG is comparison shopping. Basically, you're looking, if you're going to be a fundamental guy, what you want to do is look for the projects that have competitors that are similar and see how those competitors are performing. So when we were comparing DAG, we were looking really at Phantom. And at that point, DAG's market cap was like $1 million, 1 to 2 million. And even Phantom, after being destroyed, was still like over 10 million. So we're comparing the two and thinking, these are very similar. If DAG can execute, then we don't see why it can't be at least valued at what Phantom is right now. And this, we're talking about late last year, November, December, where the whole market is destroyed. Phantom still had a $10 million cap. So we're like confident that the market's going to recover. We didn't think it was going to recover as quickly and violently as it did, but we were expecting a recovery, and we were expecting DAG to kind of compete with Phantom in that class of blockchain. And that's where we had the estimate. Like on the Dojo call, I said, this coin has a very good chance. It's gonna sound crazy, but I think this can 10x like within the next 6 months to a year. It's a hodl. You gotta hold on a little bit, but I think this is the bottom, and I think it has at least 10x upside. And the way we came up with that was literally comparing the market caps and saying, okay, 10 million in the bottom of the bear market is a competitor. If this thing turns around and the overall market cooperates, we can see this 10x, and it has. And you know what? They've actually delivered way more than I would have expected. So, I'm not going to say the run is over. It's just starting to gain some more notoriety, and still, in comparison, a relatively low market cap. So that's one to keep an eye out for. You have coins like Chainlink, obviously going ballistic. 20 cents to $5? That's 50x in USD. So, the more this happens, the more kind of like word spreads and gets people excited again. And it's like people kind of shape their own history of what happened in 2017. It wasn't the majority of the year. It wasn't there were some spurts. So like in early 2017, everything kind of did really well. Then during the summer, there was a lot of these alts were in bear markets versus BTC, and BTC was dumping. So there was a lot of fear Q2 and Q3 of 2017. Yet during that period, there were coins like NEO and Walton, which I was in on, obviously. If you're watching this, you know a little bit about that. That did 20x's, 30x's, that type of thing. Omise Go, like it wasn't like every single coin was, but you started to see these overperforming cryptos. And right now, you have obviously DAG. Tezos looks poised to make a move. I know we talked about that last time, and I hope you guys got in if you did. But now, so Tezos off the floor was at around 800, 850, 880, something like that. It made it over almost to 2,000 sats, so it did a 2x in BTC. In USD, it's not as good because this happened while BTC was dumping, but where we're looking now, 2,000 sats is the resistance. If it gets above that, this thing has plenty of room. I mean, the next logical space, if it gets over 2,000, I mean, I would be targeting this area of like anywhere between 2,500 to 2,700 sats. And if that breaks, then you're in price discovery, and then you just ride the bullish trend. But this right here, this is a daily. As long as this area doesn't get taken out, this looks very bullish currently, and still. So Tezos being a larger cap, you're now starting to see them. A lot of the excitement around it has to do with the staking, and that kind of reminds me of NEO. Like that was a big reason why NEO pumped, because everybody wanted AntShare / NEO. So that as soon as they announced the staking model, that's when it got really bullish. Because if you hold the tokens on the wallet, you'll get paid a dividend of gas, NEO gas. That's how it worked. So Tezos does a staking model as well. And one of the good things, and this is what helped launch Binance into popularity, was they allowed you to hold NEO in Binance, and they would pay you the gas dividend. This was really kind of the beginning of Binance rising to the top, because at that point Bittrex was the top, and they had all the NEO volume, but they weren't giving the traders the gas. They were literally pocketing a crazy amount of gas every day, and Binance decided, hey, we'll stake it for you and pay you out. And that brought a lot of people from Bittrex over to Binance. I mean, there were other reasons why Binance succeeded, but in the early days, like this is like August, September of 2017, I remember specifically migrating over to Binance for that reason. Um, you know, it was just the right thing to do. So back to Tezos, Coinbase, and Binance are starting to do staking. You're seeing a lot of excitement. If this thing can break this 2,800 level and go into price discovery, being that it's such a large cap, there's going to be a lot of room for it to run. There's going to be a lot of excitement. I think it bodes well for the overall market cap if some of the mid to larger caps start to perform. So I'm definitely keeping an eye on Tezos. One of the other coins I talked about in the last video was Matic. We'll follow up on that. Matic, I said it was quite bullish over this level. Where is this level? Shit. I think this was 290. Yeah, this was the sorry we shilled too hard level was 290. Broke above that, consolidated, and just took off. The TP level that I gave you was about 420. So that hit. At this point, you can take profit still. Like at 400, you can take profit. You don't have to close the entire position because in the case that this top gets taken out, now you're looking at, we're really looking for all-time highs. I'm not sure fundamentally what's going on with Matic, but the coin is getting crazy. It also could be due for a pullback. So one thing I'm looking at here is you have this volume decline. So it's kind of showing that it's starting to run out of steam. So one thing you could look out for is one more big candle up with a big sell volume and a wick, kind of like this. It could be coming, but there might be another one. And when you see like the big volume sell-off, that's kind of like a signal that you need to pay very close attention, maybe move up your stop losses. And, like for here, this is what you're looking for. See this volume here? It's wild. But then you have this huge kind of like FOMO move, and then it gets sold off. So right here, let's say you didn't sell, you're kind of emotionally thinking, all right, that was bad. Maybe this is still going to go, and you're holding on. You don't know what to do. And then it does it again. It pumps up, but you make the lower high. So when this happens right here, this candle, you need to really be thinking to yourself, okay, this looks like this is over. I'm not going to take any more loss here. And then you kind of get this big dip. This is called complacency, where people just like don't know what to do. They're expecting, they get excited. All right, a little bit more, and we're going to go. And it never happens. You get a big dip, then a lower high, then more dip, and then that's how a downtrend starts. So really, when the second high fails and you get wicked out like that, that's really when you want to be looking to exit or even short, truth be told. So we still haven't got there yet. I'm not saying Matic's over. You definitely want to see follow-up here and curious to see where the volume comes in. It's going to come at some point. So big volume can take this over 600 sats and it can continue. Or we can get up there, get rejected hard, or you make a double top or something, then make a lower high after. That will kind of give you your signal of which way this is going, at least in the short term to midterm. So Matic's another one. I mean, I gave an entry on Matic here, literally here, like at the bottom. Not well, it wasn't 80. It was like on the bounce back and return. So it was like the entry was around like 120 or something. Like, hey, this looks really good. It was like on the way up. And some people actually still held on. So if you're holding on from like 120 to 150 sats and you've done a 3x in your BTC, while most other coins haven't performed as well, think about taking some profit here. That's the way I see that one. What else do I talk about? Oh, another one I want to put on your radar is EOS. EOS versus BTC doesn't look like it's doing anything just yet, but this does appear like a bottom is forming. So like I said in the last video, when this box range so if we can clear this, you're going to be in good shape. But keep in mind also that's a big move in itself. So you don't need to necessarily wait there. With this one, Personally, I would take a more aggressive approach. I think it looks good, and you don't want to see this level taken out. That's 20% down too, so it's pretty risky. Um, Maybe if you can catch a wick somewhere in this area, so you're looking around like 35. I mean, if you're not trading this with leverage, I think this is a good entry here. Um, and you kind of like don't want to see. It could be a fake out, but below like I would say below 33, you could get out. You take the loss and get out, and then see what happens. You can re-enter, um, depending on what happens there if this bottom holds. But the other thing you can do is wait to see if it gets over, um, like this hump. If it gets over here, like over 4,000 sats, or can reclaim this 4,000 sats territory, it would look good as well. But I would take a shot here on EOS. It's another one that's a larger cap. We're looking for something big to make some big moves. And the last one to really do it was like LTC earlier in the year. LTC went ballistic, and brought a lot of excitement to the market. So all in all, I think if you're selective, oh yeah, MFT was another one we talked about. Uh, if you're selective, there's going to be opportunity. So when you see this, like this is a huge range here. Big buy candles popping up. So somebody's buying up a lot of this in quiet and not, you know, it's like who's left to sell at this point? The people with the big money are ending up with the majority of the supply, and that's how it's able to pump because all the people who are kind of like putzing around or holding the whole way down are gone now. So a lot of these coins, and especially because the market is so small, like when you deal with like something like MFT, um, the majority of the tokens are owned by like one or two entities. So once they own it all, they get to mark it up as much as they want. So this one, I'm not loving this. Um, I wouldn't be surprised to see it back to 10 sats, to be honest, because that's been the level. So if it gets back down to 10 on like a wick, you could set your orders. This is another one because it's such a low sat coin, it can move very quickly. And also on Binance like crazy bots, like it's really tough to get your orders in. So they try to force you to market buy, and if you're market buying one sat on a double digit sat coin, it could be as much as 10%. So definitely check out the Ethereum pairing or even BNB if that's your thing. But if you're checking out the Ethereum pairing, it's a lot easier to not like get destroyed with the slippage. Um, Let me see, MFT, Ethereum. Or you could trade it on with USD. That's another option. Let's see what it looks like there. All right. Looks a little bit different. Not too much market history. All right, so this looks more bullish though. That's for sure. Um, what else? What else? What else? So all in all, the way I'm seeing this whole thing is you got a lot of people who were once very convinced in altcoins and expecting alt season. And in essence, alt season kind of happened earlier this year. You could definitely make the argument. It's not the same thing as what people expected where coins were doing 20, 40x in a week. But you got to think about like from like a market psychology, what we thought these things were worth or speculating. You're always speculating here. Back in 2017, I don't know about you guys, but there was still a tremendous amount of excitement, and people really believed these things were going to change the world. Um, you had a sense that there were scams out there. Even the scams pumped, but you had this kind of like optimism. I think almost all of us did, and when the market exploded, it was like a validation. It's like, hey, we were right. But when you think about it, nothing actually changed. Like from a technology perspective, nothing was really being used. You have these partnerships, but who knows what that's about? Um, and then you have like a 2-year bear market. So the amount of people that entered at the end of 2017 is like enormous. So much that so many people got financially ruined and hurt that it creates like a very negative outlook around these, and that's something that may linger always until something changes as far as tech being implemented. But it doesn't mean that you can't find altcoins that are going to do quote unquote alt season for you. They're out there, and the more they perform, the more superstar coins show up, the more kind of contagious, and it'll start to bring those people back, because everybody in the back of their mind always will remember. You can't forget what happened in 17 and 18. And when you're looking at these charts, like, I'll just use MFT for example, or even EOS. Like, had a very, obviously this is 2018 breakout, downtrend, downtrend. You're still in a downtrend, but this looks like it's getting its feet under it. This really looks like this is bottoming. So, I don't know when it'll happen, but I think it's a good opportunity if you look for different projects that are kind of like showing something like that. Dragon, I think I talked about it last time. It's up, but there's no volume. This one, like, this is down like 99%. It's starting to get its feet under it. On Bittrex, there's like no volume. So like if you're in this, what I would do is I set orders, like set stink orders, like level by level. Like you could put an order at like 600 sats or 700 and see if it hits. Like, because look at these rogue wicks. These wicks happen over there, and this is like, you can take shots on stuff like that. Don't put all your money in, but I think it's a good time to take some risk in the altcoin market for sure, and then stay in tune with what's going on. You don't want to see people overly shilling stuff. If you get in early and you can see, because this is the way the market works. Trust me, I know. There's like either coordinated shilling where people decide, hey, we're gonna push the shit out of this coin, or let's say somebody makes a video or somebody starts talking about a coin and that person has a history of being right. Then you have other large accounts see it, and they pay attention to each other, and they'll be like, oh, this guy's talking about that, let me research it. And then they might see the same kind of characteristics that made the original person think that this was a good idea. And then that person starts talking about it. Then his followers start talking about it. Then now you start to get some momentum, and now everybody's talking about it, and the coin's going up. When everybody's talking about it, that's when you need to be careful. Because at that point, there needs to be somebody to sell to. And if there's more sellers than buyers, what happens? The price goes down. So if you're seeing like too much people talking about the same coin all of a sudden and the chart just keeps going up, it's a time to be careful. But if you see some people talking about it and the chart looks good and you do the research and you like the project, just because some people are talking about it doesn't mean avoid it. I think like a lot of people missed Chainlink's pump because those Marines were so crazy and they just kept telling you how good it was, that some people are like, these people are crazy. I'm just not going to buy this. And it keeps going up and you're waiting for, it to pull back, and it just doesn't. And the reality is most people weren't buying. That's most people didn't catch crazy gains in Chainlink. There's only a few fanatics really, and some smart people too that had the foresight to see it. It really went crazy. So shout out to them, man. I admire their conviction in that, because while all the other altcoins die, Chainlink like does a 50x. That the odds of picking that right coin that's going to do that in the market conditions that they did is not a bet you win often. It's like winning like a 10-team, 20-team parlay. More like a 20-team parlay in football. It's like that's the odds of you picking the Chainlink. So you normally don't want to really buy any asset when the entire asset class is in a downtrend, like very clearly, unless you feel that it is bottomed. So like when we look at alts, they've been in a downtrend versus BTC, but BTC is kind of cooling off, and the alts are showing some strength. During that dump, alts did well. So I'm very optimistic, and I'll be back here tomorrow or the next day. You'll see me soon. We'll be making a bunch of these videos, kind of keeping you up to date with what's going on in the market. If you enjoyed this, please make sure to subscribe if you haven't already. Give me a like, man. Like the first video I did, I think I gave good information. I gave you the target on BTC, which hit fucking surgically. The alts that I talked about all did well, and the sound was a little messed up, but I got like a bunch of dislikes. These people are salty. Like, if you don't follow me on Twitter or Twitch, twitch.tv/realkoreanjew, then you probably like, oh, this is that guy that shills altcoins. Like, no, it's not what I do. I've spent the last over a year, almost 2 years, a year and a half, trying to really get better at this and hone my craft. And the whole purpose is to make you guys money again. Uh, when the alt season hit in 2017, we were on top of it. We caught the coins like Chainlink even before alt season. So WTC did a 40x. Meanwhile, everything else was dying. Um, my goal has always been to obviously make money for myself, but I don't want anyone to lose money on account of me. So when the market crashed, I mean, imagine me, I lost money a shitload, and all these people around me lost because of me, I guess. And that's like a tremendous. It's a tough pill to swallow. It's tough to deal with. It's tough to go to sleep at night. I've had many sleepless nights where I'm like rolling around in bed just thinking about it. I still do from time to time. So I really rededicated myself, and thanks to Kazanomics, who's like my mentor, took me under his wing and really kind of changed the way I do things because I felt like I need to get better. And then the more you learn, the more you look around and you see there are people that just really don't know what they're doing, and people are following them blindly. So it took me a while to get back to the point where I felt like I'm doing the right thing, and that's exactly where I feel right now. I've proved it. If you look at my feed for the whole year, there's hasn't been many people as accurate as far as the direction of BTC as I have been, and I can say that because the proof is on my wall. Uh, you know, back in the day, I could just talk about altcoins and they might pump. This is a totally different thing. I don't want to bring attention to like low caps and start to pump them up. That's not really what you're going to get from this YouTube. I may see something that looks undervalued and I might do a video here and there to talk about one specific coin, but I more want to kind of help you guys learn how to fish on your own, learn how to trade on your own, and make sound decisions. And don't use that cop out that I'm an investor, like AKA hodler, I can't trade. All these guys on YouTube that don't trade are telling people that you're going to lose all your money or that you can't win. It's all manipulated. That's bullshit. It really is. Just because they don't know how to do it, in their mind, they're thinking, oh, I can't do it or I lost money, so everybody's going to lose. No, you just don't know what you're doing. And it's a dangerous mindset to have. I'm just going to hodl and I'll put my investment to you. Even if you want to be a long-term investor, you still should know a thing or two so you know when your long-term investment is going to fuck you. Because if you see it on the chart, it's very clear, okay, my investment is entering a downtrend. Why would you hold an asset that's going down for 2 years because you're telling yourself you're a long-term investor? That's opportunity cost. You can put your money into something else that's actually going to make you money. Why sit on money and watch it just disappear because you're telling yourself you can't trade? So, you can always learn more. If you're an expert, great, keep learning. Trade more, learn more, read more. But if you're like a noob and you're just like, hey, I'm hoping for a 10x or a 20x, like you're not doing yourself a service by ignoring this type of information. So I hope you guys enjoy it. Also, yeah, if you want to get into margin trading, BTC trading, Dudex is dope. Doesn't have the liquidity, so if you're going over there trying to do like multi-six, I've got six-figure positions filled, but if you want to do like 200, 300, 400,000 positions, I don't think it's there just yet. It doesn't make tremendous sense, but if you want to kind of dabble, it's a great place for beginners to learn. Very simple, user-friendly, and use my link, dudex.com/Korean Jew. Yeah, so I hope you enjoyed, and I will talk to you all soon. Have a good one.